Hey, what's up everyone, Epitome here, and today's video was suggested in the comments by Rimador, and he wanted a video on how to hold B-site drop on Cobblestone. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this in just a second, but I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and if you do, definitely be sure to hit that like button, and let's go for a goal of like 25 likes, but we're going to go ahead and hop right into this. Alright, first things first, I want to get rid of a common spot that a lot of people hold because it is the worst thing you could ever try to do when holding drop. So, say you're a terrorist, alright, and this is going to be from the terrorist perspective, and you are crouched in the little drop window right over here. This is such a easy angle and honestly a common angle that everybody checks, and right when you round the corner, look at that. I barely even have to move anything. Like just directly on his head. It is an awful angle because this is what you see from the terrorist side, and then this is what you see from the CT side. So as you can see, there's a lot less body exposed, and honestly there would be a lot more if I could like have this bot jiggle peek, but you can't do that with bots. So even if he was like jiggle peeking or anything like that, the chance in you hitting the shot before the terrorist hits the shot is very slim. So don't ever sit in this angle. Now from here, a really common angle that a lot of you might have thought of after me telling you not to hold in the window is obviously this angle, kind of where the bot is. Of course it would be a little bit closer, maybe a little bit farther back depending on where the CT would like to stand. But here is the angle from the T-sided version. And then here is the angle from the CT-sided version. So it kind of puts you kind of like a little bit at an advantage. The reason why I only say that is just the fact that you could easily hit their head, possibly dink them, possibly double dink them. But I mean, from their perspective, they do see a lot more of your body and have a lot more power over this spot because they could easily, you know, crouch up to it and then peek like I am now from up top, and then kind of just tap you real fast, especially with an AK. So really either of these spots can put you at a disadvantage. I mean, I'd rather hold this spot than the window spot. You have a lot more room to work with here. You could throw nades very easily. You could back off very easily. So this is a spot, I mean, depending on how you do and how you feel about holding this, you definitely can, but it is a little risky. Now after me showing you multiple spots where I'm telling you pretty much not to hold or just be very careful to hold, you might be wondering, well, what do you play then? What do you do? Alright, so what I always do anytime I'm holding drop, I always come here, I'll throw a smoke down right here, and then I use this smoke to my advantage. Because a lot of the time, it can be very hard to see. And I'll show you in a quick second from the terrorist side angle as well too. But from the CT side, you could very easily see this guy's head, or even if they peek out here, you could very easily see their head, and it is a lot harder for them to see you as well. From there, you could also place the smoke, so you place it one round and you play back. Next round, you can play close. They're going to be looking for you. So really, you have to change up your angles and constantly change your angles, and if you hear them rushing, you really have to be careful with nades. Now, here is the angle with the smoke and with the bot on the other side of the smoke. You could barely see them. Barely see them, and that's even you have to go all the way forward, and I'll even show you with that smoke. You could very easily see up there. Of course the smoke was just starting to fade, but I'll throw it one more time for you, and you could barely like you could easily see up there, but from up here, unless you're all the way peeked out, then you could finally see him, and honestly by that time you're dead. That's why I really like utilizing this smoke, and I really think it's a really great option as well too, because even if they're peeking over here, you could still see them and they'll be like checking window and not thinking you're right behind the smoke. So that can help out tremendously. With all of this being said and all the spots not to hold, and probably the only one spot to hold, I always suggest using your nades, and a lot of the time you can play close because then that can put terrorists at a really big disadvantage because they have to kind of look down, try and find you while you have pretty much their full body open. So I definitely suggest either playing close or utilizing the smoke, and then from there always use your nades. Always use nades. I can't stress that. Never hold drop without nades. If you ever try to hold drop without nades, then I promise you, you're going to lose drop every single time. Now you might be thinking, well, what if I have to hold drop and I'm in a situation where I don't have nades? then there's two things you can do. You can have someone holding connector kind of from A, you can communicate with your team, or have another person just help you watch B. Say, hey, I don't have any nades, I need nades to hold drop, I need someone else to help me watch B. Most of the time people will help you out, and if they do, then I highly suggest playing outside of, you know, connector, like in the connector area, outside of drop, not in this stupid little corner trying to peek them. I highly suggest playing out here, or even out on this side as well too. You just kind of have to be careful. Just watching E-box area, you just have to be careful from like long and make sure your teammates are really holding that. But from there, you really have to hold drop with nades. If you don't have nades, I promise you, you won't survive. And then from there, it just comes down to changing up positioning, changing up certain nades, using certain nades to really hold them back, peeking from different angles, always making them guess when they're coming to drop. And I promise you, once you hold it once, they're definitely going to try and go again. And if they go again and get shut down again, they will not touch drop for a little while. So just a heads up for you guys. I hope this helped you out. I hope you all enjoyed this video. My name is Epithemy, and I'll catch you all next time.